Hi, welcome to today's Greedy 3D. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made her here, Jessica Cruz, one of the Green Lanterns. And I'm going to be using two things that I haven't used before. I'm going to be using the Vallejo liquid mask and also some resin, some of the water washable clear green resin. Stay tuned. Now it's really important when you start to test fit your pieces, and you're probably going to need to sand a few bits down just to make sure it fits. You want to be doing it at this stage really, and not doing it after you've done all your painting and your hard work. So you don't want to be sanding things down and getting glue all over the rest of your model. Now starting off with the matte black, one of the air painter sets from Army Painter, I'm going to give the whole model a base coat, an undercoat of this black. I'm not looking for a really thick dark coat, I just want to give it an undercoat to make sure that all the resin is sealed. Now once I've done that, I'm going to turn again to this colour triad here, again from the Army Painter War Mega Paint set, the airbrush paints, and I'm going to start off with the darkest of the colours, and I'm going to give it a bit of a zenithal highlight from the top down, just concentrating on the areas whereby the highlights would be. So I don't want to be going into the shadowed area, changing to the next colour in the triad, a bit of a lighter colour, the barbarian flesh, and I'm just going to give it a general touch over in certain areas where the light would be catching her face, and onto the final one, the wildling flesh, which is the lighter colour. And again, same thing, gentle strokes on it, just concentrating on the nose, the cheeks, the chin. I've used a little bit of alien purple, well watered down, just to give her face a little bit of a wash of purple. Don't overdo this, it's really important to use a really good watered down version, again just to make sure you give it a colour. And onto the glitter green, which is a nice fluorescent-y kind of metallic green for the lantern itself, again all from the Mega Paint. I'm just using a tiny bit of flow improver, literally a drop, just to help everything run smoothly, and I'm giving it a really good coat all over, and I'm going to give it just a bit of a light sprinkling with the gauze green. It's more of a fluorescent paint, it's really nice, just add to the edging and effects on that. Moving over now to Savage Green, again same set, and I'm going to just do the top part of her chest there, and I'm going to highlight it with some feral green just to give it a little bit of texture and depth to the top of the uniform. Onto the white parts now, and using the matte white paint, a fair few layers of this on, light layers, let it dry, give it another coat on the boots and on her arms, just to give that a really nice white colour. And now for the liquid mask. I've not used this before. If you're going to put it on with a brush, make sure you're not too fussed whether you keep the brush or not, because it's not brilliant for the brush and you might be able to use it again. Nice even layer all the way across, and make sure you get it in all the places, because once you've sprayed over it, you don't want it to come through. Give it a little bit of time. I gave it about 25 minutes, and then I went back to my gauze green once it had completely gone transparent, and I just painted on her abdomen area to give it a bit of a contrast in colour from the rest of it, and up and down her back as well. Now onto the glitter green, the same as the lantern, and I'm just going to touch up her pauldrons there just to make sure that they look really nice and metallic. I've still got the Vallejo mask on there, so I can afford to just touch over some of that areas, but I am being as careful as I can not to get it absolutely everywhere. So both pauldrons were covered in the highly metallic cover. And now to get the mask off, it's quite relaxing. It's like picking off sunburn, if that sounds a bit gross, sorry, but that's what it's like. Peel it off, pull it off, use a little bit of blue tack if you've got bits stuck in the area, but it comes off really easy actually, and I'm so pleased with the result of that. It's done its job absolutely admirably. Now to the face, I'm going to dry brush some pink onto her cheeks just to give her a little bit of makeup. I'm sure Jessica Cruz, like most ladies, spends a bit of time putting her makeup on before she goes and does some Green Lantern duty. So I'm just giving her cheeks a little bit of a blush, and I'm going to pop a little bit of the same red, just some basic red paint onto her lips just to make them shine. I'll low light the bottom lip, or I'll highlight rather the bottom lip with a bit of pink, and once I've done all this, I'll give it a coat of varnish. Now take your time with the lips, small brush, and just follow the outline, and there we go, looking nice and made up. Now to the eyes. The first thing I do with the eyes is give the inner parts of the eyes a coating of black. This allows me then to go over it with white and give an eyeliner effect on Jessica here. Really good. I've seen others do it on the internet, and it's a technique I've adopted, and I think it's really, really good. Saves fiddling around trying to put eyeliner on the top and the bottom afterwards. Yes, she looks like a little bit of a zombie, but that's fine. Hair colour, I've used some Army Painter Martian Brown, and I'm just using a small brush, and I'm going to carefully go around the outline. Once I've done around the skin and I'm making sure I'm not getting any on my flesh, I'm going to change to a thicker brush and prop it on a little bit easier, but I don't want to use that thick brush at the start. I want to be nice and careful. I do not want to ruin all that work I've done on the skin tones. When the hair's done, it's over to the eyes, and I'm just using some white with a hint of blue to do the whites of the eyes. Again, I'm making sure that I keep within the black so I get a little bit of an eyeliner effect. Really, really small pointed brush for this. You might need a couple of layers of the white just to give the effect that you're after. And there we go, it looks really nice. The eyes themselves, I'm going to be using a green for Jessica Cruz, so I'm going to do a black circle where the eyes would be to look as if it were the iris, and then I'm going to go over that with the green just inside to give it that green iris effect. I really don't enjoy doing eyes. They make me a nervous wreck. I'm always a tremble, but just take your time, small brush, and there's the final effect. Thankfully it came out really well, and as you can see I did the emblem over her eye as well, just using a green paint, the highlighted green paint I used for the rest of her, and some patience. Now to colour in the areas that were black on the main part of the body, and again just a narrow brush, take your time, and away you go. It's a bit laborious, but it's a nice end result, so it's worth putting the hours in really. I've made a few mistakes, but I'll touch up as I go along with the certain greens that I've used. This gave me a sleepless night. Doing the highlighted areas here in the black bits, the outline, it wasn't pleasurable. I've got to be honest. I was all of a tither, but it came out okay. Same again with the centre part. I used the white, had to give it quite a few layers to get this pattern on, and I had to make this bit up really. There was nothing to follow, so I just followed some reference pictures and tried to make it look as good as I could before adding some clear varnish to the pauldron and also onto the lantern itself, just to give it a bit of ping and pop. Right, over to the water washable green clear resin. Oh, look at that. It's so gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful resin. Make sure when you use this you clean it in clean water. I used a little bit of dirty water and it just stuck to the top of it and ruined the effect a little bit, but I managed to clean it up, but I won't make that mistake again. And here she is, all finished. Have a look, see what you think. I'm really pleased with how it's come out.